How's Burakovsky looking for tomorrow?
We'll see. I'll know more tomorrow. I mean, he skated today. He's moving in the right direction. But I wouldn't say he's in. I wouldn't say he's out. I'll probably know more. It might be up until game time.
You've had a couple practices now. What do you have to do to turn things around a little bit? You almost got there the other night against Colorado.
If you look at it, we played, I would say, a pretty good game against Seattle overall, a pretty good game against Colorado overall, if you're taking the totality of the 60 minutes, in a really bad game against Buffalo. And sometimes the score doesn't indicate the game. That was a really bad game. So what do we have to do? I would just say, play similar to what we did on the game against Seattle, similar to what we did against Colorado, and find a way to win. And we've been in tons of those games this year, and we found a way to win. Do we want to keep getting incrementally better? Yes. Every single day we want to keep getting incrementally better. But I wouldn't say we were far off in either of those games. We just got to continue to put ourselves in that position and do what we've done lots of the year and find a way to win.
It seems like this is the healthiest the forward group has been in a while, especially Burakovsky played. I mean, you had Donato down in the fourth line. Is that encouraging to see that you're getting the depth back there?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't had a full roster up front for sure through a large part of the year, and that's part of everybody's got their issues. But certainly, outside of missing Fliggy at that point, we'd have our full. If Burakovsky plays, we'd have our full go. So at that point, I think we have a lot of depth. And I can, if I dress 11, I can do a little bit with Donato's line to make sure he's playing with kind of skilled players, and you'd kind of set up a little bit of a checking line with Dickinson's line, and so you have Donato with subbing in Frankie, subbing in Bedsy, those kind of guys. So that makes it almost another threat as a line. So it would give us a little bit more depth for sure.
Every time I talk to anybody about Teuvo Teravainen, they use the word smart. Well, what does that mean to you in a hockey context?
So the game of hockey for me is while we have structure, there's an unbelievable fluidity to it, and so guys have to be able to make what we would call like hockey reads on the fly all the time. And I think the smart players are the ones that make those reads better than others in both offense. And where Teuvo kind of separates himself with his smarts is he has really good defensive hockey smarts. When the chaos happens, he knows who to cover, he knows where to go, he knows what play to take away. In offensive hockey smarts, he knows how to find the right spot to be to get a puck. He knows when he gets the puck what he's going to do with it next. All those kind of things I think constitute smarts, and probably is what has allowed him to have a really good NHL career.
How do you cool off a Minnesota team that is really winning a lot of games at this point?
Honestly, from our perspective, it's just play our hockey, play our good hockey. They're a good team. We felt like at the beginning of the year they were going to be a really good team. They got off to a slow start. Now they're kind of humming. So they've got some elite guys. They're missing a few. Looks like maybe in the middle. But they've got some elite players. Kaprizov's obviously a great player. Zuccarello's still a great player. Boldy's a great offensive player. I love Eriksson Ek as a center in the league. They've got a really good back end, and they've been getting really good goaltending. So we just have to play our game and again kind of focus on us, continue to make incremental steps forward.
Generally speaking, not just about them, but why does that happen? How does a team that looked so bad 3 weeks ago look so good for 3 weeks?
It's an interesting league right now, to be honest with you, in a sense that it probably has as much to do with confidence as anybody else, or anything else, because everybody's so close. I watched Tampa win again last night. They went through a stretch early. They weren't winning with a full roster, and now they're winning a bunch with not a full roster. I mean, just as throughout the league, I think. Boston's gone on long streaks, Pittsburgh's gone on streaks. The league is so tight that we're in those games I talked about earlier where they're just really close games. And once you kind of find a way to win, you can go on streaks. And once, if you're losing, you got to be careful of going on a bad streak. And that's kind of where we're at. We got to find a way to play with the urgency level necessary to kind of stem the tide and find a way to win.
With Levchinov on the power play, are you looking for him to utilize that heavy shot more from that point?
It's something him and I've talked about, and he's worked with Anders with as well. Is that, I think he's really smart about how he puts pucks in towards the net. Sometimes just little wristers looking for sticks, and there's a time for that, but there's also a time to just pound it. And I think there's definitely times where we can get him to unleash that shot a little bit more and really shoot it hard and even if he doesn't score, the chaos created from the rebound because of how hard the shot is going to be in play.
We've got more division games on the schedule coming up soon after only a handful to start the year. Are those games weighted differently for you guys, or is it just another one of 82?
Honestly, for me, it's not. You know, like as you got to the end of the year or whatever, certainly they can mean more potentially. But for me, you know, our focus is just on getting better here, and so it's not really a heavier weighted game. We just got to go out and play good hockey. Now, there's some really good teams in our division, you know, so we'll face some pretty stiff challenges. But that's kind of the league right now.
Can I ask about Oliver Moore, kind of like how he's done and how he's kind of cemented himself?
Ollie's done a good job. Like I think you know he got sent down and he did a really good job of going down to the American League and playing really good hockey. And I think you know when you get sent down, your confidence probably isn't at its highest. And he was able to kind of play really good hockey and come here full of confidence. And he's carried that confidence throughout the games, even when he hasn't played great. You're going to have ups and downs. You know, I think the big thing with Ollie is he plays really, really hard. He's got to find ways when he doesn't quite have his stuff to still be effective, and that's just a learned process that you really can't do until you go through it, you know, and it's something I think if you asked Connor, he's gotten better at, you know, like just finding a way to when you don't have your stuff, making sure that you're finding ways to get through your shifts without giving up a whole bunch, and then still looking for that odd opportunity to have it. And that's something that I think is that Ollie can continue to get better at. But he's been you know, he brings lots of energy and he's got skill.